Hello, hello. I think we're on and live here. At least I hope so. Let's see. See if I can get just a little more light into the shot here. There we go. Good morning, everyone. I hope you're all having a good day so far. I have been going off on a rampage on a side project, so I'm going to pause with my Necrons this week because I just don't want to stop painting this thing. David Wendler, how are you today? I'm doing pretty good. I'm sitting up at least. That's a good start. Get a little painting done. See if maybe I can finish this today. I'm getting really close to done with it. Completely custom made. Because Games Workshop just doesn't make them this size. All right. Start getting what I need together. How is the weather in your area, David? It's warm here still, like above freezing and overcast. I don't mind the gray so much. I wish we would get a little rain because we're in a drought. And if we're not getting snowpack or rain, it's going to be awfully brown awfully soon. Go for it, painting. Hi there. I'm glad you could make it. Welcome. I am going to spend a couple hours painting on a base I made and maybe working on a few of other projects I have going. But I'm mostly doing this today. Ooh, I hope some of that water dries up there. You guys look like you really got soaked bad. Or covered in snow if you were in the mountains. All right, let's see here. Let's start by putting a little paint on the palette. I've got Caliban Green here from Citadel. Oh, I don't know. The weather here in 5 days looked like we might get like sprinkles. But for the most part, it looked like our weather pattern was going to hold for like 7 or 10 days. And we were just going to have gray days with slightly above freezing to almost 40. which is just insane for Minnesota. That's just not right. It is just not right. That does not happen. For the sake of anyone tuning in who has not watched me before, forgive me if I do not quickly respond to the chat room, as I don't have a producer or anything, and I am viewing everything through my cell phone. So I only see the chat when I stop painting and look up for a moment, which I do often do. But hopefully that's also why I'm not going to blast your sound out either, because my face is right up in the microphone. And get a drip of water and start to kind of wash away the brush strokes. Just layers of glaze. I hope everyone had a good week. Mine was kind of busy. I actually got some stuff done outside because it was so nice this week. Unseasonably warm. And also, for those who've never tuned into me before, forgive me for not having anything on in the background. I kind of want you to choose whatever it is that gets you in the mood to paint, or whatever hobby you're going to engage in this morning. I certainly don't expect everyone to work in the same medium that I am. So whether it's music you like, or it's lore from something, or it's just the television. I know lots of people who put on a movie while they paint. I can definitely see the appeal to that. Especially things with really ripping good soundtracks like Conan the Barbarian or something like that. Starship Troopers. You know, anything with the soundtrack written by Basil Poldoris. Probably going to find something I like there. go, a little more pigment. And just a drop of water. And you'll get your color wherever you lift your brush. So just nice little dabs. And you can drag that glaze along. And there you go. Awesome. And glazing is such a thin layer. It's the sort of thing you just want to build up. So you've got that nice, smooth look. This is the decking, the floor of the cargo area of a spaceship called the Stygian Heart. So I've kind of made it in layers, so it's got that three-dimensional look, and you can see through it in some places. Like when you put the grates on, you'll be able to still see the details underneath, and they'll actually be really brightly painted, so it looks like they're illuminated from underneath. Honey Bunny, how are you doing? I bet it looks really pretty where you're at. All covered in snow. It is windy here today. I can hear that outside. Wow, you got a nice covering of snow then. Ah, what I wouldn't give for a couple of inches of that so I could get on a snowmobile, get out onto the lake and do some ice fishing. That would be lovely. Not this year, though. A little shaky this morning, but not bad. Now this I just built up using a 60 millimeter base because the model that I want to put on top of it stands on a larger base than most because it is a character. But it was just, the bases are kind of plain, and even the sculpted bases look neat, but, I've seen it 1,000 times. It's right there on the box. Everybody's painted one of those bases. So let's make something different. And seeing as I've really been into the boarding action stuff lately, I've really been interested in seeing Void War bases that are larger than what Games Workshop produces currently, which I think are like 28 and 30 and 32 millimeter. And this is a 60. How you doing, Bella LaGreasy? It's good to see you. So, as the battlefield table I am going to be building as part of my next project is going to be the Stygian Heart. I figured I'd do a bunch of Void War bases for a couple of kill teams and a small army all set up to match it. Ooh, super hot peppers. Are we talking like ghost pepper hot or reaper pepper? I'm a big fan of Scotch bonnets myself. Nice and hot, but not melt your face. I find just making stuff is one of the best ways to lose myself in something so I'm able to just let go of the stress, dump the baggage, helps to ignore the pain. And let's see, get some water on the brush. Yeah, I think that muskrat's right. We're going to have an early spring, summer. I don't even know what to call these seasons anymore, some of them. Springer? I don't know. It's weird. Yeah, I hope we get some snowpack here too. The drought is not going to be a good thing in just a few weeks if we're not getting some kind of precipitation here. I don't care if it's snow or if we get drizzle, we got to get something though. But yeah, as I was saying, this was a 60 millimeter base. And then I took a strip of, that's about 4 or 5 millimeter thick cardstock that I have. It's really dense stuff, really super hard to cut through. But it's got a nice smooth finish. So I cut out a circle of that and then cut a couple of windows out with a jeweler's saw and a drill so that it made nice smooth edges compared to all kinds of other stuff. I am working on painting up a Void War base that I have crafted from a 60 millimeter Games Workshop base, a sheet of cardboard, a few pieces of plastic sheet, and bits of mechanical looking stuff from the Void War kit, and other scraps of things I've got in my bits box. I'm just layering up the base coat right now. And then I'm going to start really weathering it and making it look like it's been hanging in space for a couple thousand years. Once I've got a better studio to bring some of this to you live in, I'm going to start working on one of my tabletops so that you can see the whole ship. And that involves reclaiming an old coffee table that I will repurpose into a kill team table. Building this sort of flooring up on the tabletop surface, painting that all up, and then painting and setting up the modular boarding actions terrain so that you can set up different parts of the ship as you like. And if I'm really lucky, I'll be able to get the LED light stuff to work that I'm going to try to put in so that we've even got actual running lights and actual lit emergency lights here and there throughout the ship. But the coffee table has a set of end tables that goes with it. So I'm going to build one up with a padded leather surface and high ridges so that you can roll dice into it and they don't go rolling around the room. And the other one I was going to set up as a covered box top that I will put some foam padding in and make the little voids so you can put some figures in there and actually have one of your kill teams or two of your kill teams sitting there in the end table. I think that might be a fun way to reclaim an old piece of furniture. Yeah, I bought a bunch of those lights that I have not tried yet to install into stuff. I've got them, oh, I think they're in the other room actually, dang it. But I got a whole, I think I got like 100 of them. But they're just little tiny wee things. And they will really be nice. I've got ideas to slip them into miniatures, to slip them into bases, to slip them into gaming tables, all kinds of fun stuff. Hello, Don O'Leary. I'm glad you could make it. I hope you are having an excellent morning. I might even set a couple of the lights up with like a flicker so that it looks like they're shorting out, because this is intended to be, the wreck of several ships all kind of jammed together because of gravity and whatnot. Let's see. Putting a little bit of Abaddon black onto my palette here. Oops. And changing to a sharper brush. I forgot my earbuds. There's been an album I've been thinking about turning on because I saw KMFDM has a new album, and I'm like, ooh, I gotta check that out. Because I love me some KMFDM. Alright. Now I want the deck here to be nice and smooth. So I'm going to add a little extra water to this paint and get it like kind of thick glaze consistency. So I want to just dab the edges here. And just a dab of water. To smooth out any lines. Ooh, 2 to 4. That is a lot of snow at once. Yikes. I gotta say though, that's exactly the reason I would live up in that area, because it's just beautiful when it is covered in snow like that. I hope I can come and visit that area again someday soon, because I sure did love it up there. I've never seen it in the winter though, only the summer. Really great fishing. Yeah, it's freakish here in the Twin Cities. It is just not normal to be this warm at all. I've never seen anything like it. Hey, Powdered Toast Man, how are you doing? It's good to see you. Yeah, I'm liking how this is turning out. Eventually here, in a few minutes, I'm going to finish up some of these details. And then I'm going to work on making all the white stuff yellow and doing black stripes across there. So I got the hazard mark. And then I'll do that in like steel with a little gold trim and a little brass over here and make the light look like it's lit up. And then I'm going to make it look really old. Oh, I'm definitely not one of the ones happy about the global warming. At least because I like winter stuff. So when there's nothing winter to do in Minnesota, I'm kind of bummed out. And a lot of my friends aren't making any money at all because nobody's at the resort. Nobody's able to go ice fishing. Nobody's going snowmobiling, so they don't need their snowmobiles repaired. Things like that. Winter's a big thing for the economy here. But if I can't snowmobile, I'll hang out inside and paint. Let's see here. Where is Iron Warriors? There it is. Grab a dark metallic. I'm going to use Iron Warriors to start. Got to keep mindful that I have 2 pots of water here, and one of them has big red lettering that says metal. Just so I don't go sticking my brush in it with green paint when I've got metal on it instead. Oh, yeah, mosquitoes are going to be anywhere where you got lots of rain and precipitation. You are going to get lots of mosquitoes come spring. There are places I like to go up around here where the mosquitoes are just so thick. It's like hearing a C-130 in the background, but there's no airplanes going overhead. It's just the mosquitoes. The constant background buzz of mosquitoes. Now, don't get me wrong, those are some of the most beautiful places I can think of, and I really love to hang out in them and go fishing. But holy cow, the mosquitoes. Good morning, Chuck Wendler. How are you today? And indeed, the mosquito is the state bird of Minnesota. Don't let anyone tell you differently. Loons are pretty. There's way more mosquitoes than there are loons. This is kind of thick. My Iron Warriors is drying out. Gonna need to fix that. Oop. Excuse me if I knocked into the camera there. One of these days soon, I'm either going to have a camera mounted over my head or on my head. I'm still not sure which I will find more comfortable. I'm doing pretty good today. I am sitting up without much trouble. So that's a good start. A little shaky, but not bad. Hello, James. Welcome. I'm glad you could join me. I am currently painting a Void War base that I made. Because I wanted one for character model, and Games Workshop does not make them in 60 millimeter yet. I hope I can stress the yet, and that someday they do. Hint, hint, Games Workshop. Because as fun as this project has been, it'd be really nice to have 60 and 40 and 50 millimeter and 90 and 120 millimeter. Yeah, now I'm just pipe dreaming. Yeah, I am feeling a lot better than I have the past couple weeks. Whatever that cold thing was I had is starting to fade away. A little coughing still, but I don't feel like cold cat puke on the floor. I'm going to start putting a bunch of my newer videos over onto my Patreon first to try to encourage people to head over to my Patreon. Eventually, I'd like to do these someplace where I know that no one is ever going to stick an ad in your face. And I know Patreon won't be doing that, or at least they don't do it now. Hopefully, they won't ever do it. Because really, I'm doing this for relaxation, both mine and hopefully for the relaxation and benefit of anyone else who wants to join me. And I think one of the most disruptive things to relaxation I can imagine is an advertisement of any kind. Even one that's like, tailored to me like some sick Philip K. Dick novel. Another moderator handled that. I have another moderator? That's odd. I didn't think. Oh, wait, no, I do have another moderator. I didn't think he was here, though. I didn't think he was here. Well, I really have to thin out this Iron Warriors. It's really drying up. Oh, yeah, even in Minneapolis, the mosquitoes can be bad. I mean, the whole city is just surrounded by lakes and watershed, and yep, you're definitely going to have them all over. You know, I was scanning by the other day through stuff to watch, and I saw the feed for something called If the Emperor Had a Text to Speech Device, but I did not click on it yet. I have not watched that yet. It sounded kind of interesting. Some of the 40K YouTubers come up with some really hilarious content. Oh, excuse my cough. Oops, there's a little mistake. That's all right. Can cover that up. Well, I don't mind stuff that bashes 40K a little in a good way because I always liked 40K because it was a little over the top. So 40K should never ever really take itself too seriously. I will definitely have to check that one out though. Some of that 40K beam stuff is hilarious. It is going to be a little dark in there when the grates are on. Yes, I uh, I have noticed that, but some of that color is going to show through, and that's basically what I'm looking for. When you look at it up close, you'll see it pretty clearly, but when you're several feet away, you'll only get little glimpses of it, but hopefully enough of it to sell the three-dimensional effect. That's mostly what I'm going for here, is so that your eye realizes and understands that there's stuff underneath that. This is multiple layers of decking. But once I really get the bright stuff in there, whites and really light grays that reflect off the floor, and some really bright scarlets on the edges of the red stuff, a little lighter grays there. Some of that should be seen a little clearer through those grates, as long as a little light's getting in there. One of these days when I build one of these, I might try and put one of those LEDs down inside and just have it actually backlit. I think that would look pretty cool. No, I do not have a Diane Russell to moderate my chat room. I should be so lucky. And I don't have kimchi either. I imagine this is too early for her. Then again, I don't know. Let's see if I am steady enough to actually paint some little black stripes. You have a good weekend also, Don. Hello, red. All right, let's see. Yeah, I'll try the stripes later. A little too shaky. Heberick, good to see you. I'm glad you could make it. And good to see you, Durbin. All right, well, at least I started the stripes. Yes, this is definitely going to be an only hands channel. I'm sorry about that, Legend. I'm using my cell phone to do the live streaming. See if I can back that away for you. I've been building a 60 millimeter Void War base. I took a 60 millimeter Games Workshop base and I took 5 millimeter thick cardstock and bonded a circle of it to it with a couple windows cut out. And I've just been slapping on different pieces of plastic from the Void War set from Games Workshop so that I can build a three-dimensional base for a character model. Soon I will have a better camera and we won't have this shakiness. And you'll be able to get a clearer picture. I've got a pretty good camera on my cell phone, but I don't have quite the control to let the amount of light into the iris I need. Soon, when I can afford a new camera, we will be using that. Go find myself a nice used Canon or something like that. like an AS50 or something. And then set the boom so that it is overhead instead of in my face because I keep bumping it. Wow, I gotta get my metal paints into eyedropper bottles or something. As they are drying out. Forgive all that racket. Gotta get that brush clean. Now, for people who haven't watched me before, I do not have music on in the background because I want you to listen to what you like to listen to. Put on whatever strikes you as something that's going to help you paint or whatever hobby you'd like to engage in. You don't have to paint with me. Let's just get together and relax and enjoy our hobbies. And yes, silence is golden. It certainly can be. All right, let's see here. I am going to stand up for just a couple of minutes and get a paint that I do not have in reach and stretch my legs for just a moment so that my hip does not lock up. So we'll set that there. And as it says, I will be back in a moment. Oh. There we go. Excuse me. Had to get some Coelia green shade because it is a very nice dark green. And let's see. Just a drop of Lamian medium. Not a big one though. There we go. Just thin it out a little because, like I said, it's nice and dark green, but I don't want it too dark. I just want it to get into the deep recesses and like pool around the rivets on the decking. Thought I had double-sided tape on one of these. There we go. A little double-sided tape there is a wonderful thing. The bane of my existence. Cat hair. Goofy cats. Their hair sure is pretty. There we go. Welcome, John. Glad you could join us. There we go. Here's one of the Games Workshop Void War bases. Which was kind of what I was inspired by to build the bigger ones. They're some of the cooler bases I have seen them put out, and they go really well with the spaceship kits that they've been putting out. I've just been cranking those Void War bases out because eventually I'm gonna stick a squad of Phobos Marines onto that size there, and I bought a couple of boxes of them. I've got a few kill teams that I wanted to set up on those bases that just, they're going to look perfect. The boarding squad and all kinds of them, just beautiful models they've made this time. This is not from scratch. This is Games Workshop's product. Just clip it off the sprue, prime it, and paint it up the way you like. This is a Games Workshop base with a sheet of cardboard and some plastic sheet, and these pieces are from the same kit that this base came out of. So the kit came with, let's see, I've got it right here. All kinds of neat bases and bits of floor tile. Hey, Dangerous Pepper, good to see you, man. So yeah, I've just been taking bits I clip off of these sprues and adding them. Oh, that's a different kit entirely. Oops. Yeah, wow, it has been almost that long, man. Been a long time. That's good to see you. I'm glad you could make it. I hope you and your bride are well. All right, let's set this back down, and got another one of these. The plumber. The amount of money I have spent on plumbers in my lifetime. I could buy a nice car, I tell you what. I didn't want to use your name in case you didn't want to use your name. But it's great to see you, Dedry. I knew it was you. There we go. Now I can jam that one onto there. And we can get back to this. Well, if you want to be famous, Dudley, I thought you guys had a band. Yeah, adulting does that. Oh, and once you buy a house, yeah, there goes a lot more adulting starts happening. Though I am very glad you were able to. Dangerous Pepper here has just been able to purchase his first home. And I'm very excited for him because it is nice to have, even though it's expensive, even though some of that maintenance is just a giant pain in the butt. Hello, Derek. Glad you could make it. I am just painting a Void War base that I made in 60 millimeters. For a character model, I am kit bashing. Excuse me. Now I'm just going to run this all over the top of everything green, hopefully without banging my head into my camera. Now this is one of Citadel's shade colors, so it's nice and thin, and it runs into all the recesses. And it's kind of a nice color filter. Darkens up the green nicely. And yes, I am pressing my fingers together to steady my hands. I'm bracing both of my arms on the bench, and I've got my fingers together because, yeah, that little steeple helps you to brace everything together. And a lot of times I will bust out, oh, here we go, like a piece of foam or something like this, and set the work down on it. And get on top of it that way with something that I can cushion myself with if I'm going to be sitting around doing something for long periods of time. Anything I can do to stop the shaking a little bit. And the foam is just, I had a Pelican case that I cut a couple of voids out of in order to fit a tool into. And I just clipped up the pieces of foam that I had left to use for things like that. If I got to lean on something and put my weight onto it, especially to help brace it down, I slip some foam under there. It makes it a lot more comfortable. And it kind of saves your wrists. There we go. That's shading that green nicely. Let's see, where is that red? Hiding behind my coffee. Oh, wrong red. This is Flesh Terrors Red contrast from Citadel. I just need a tiny drop. All I'm going to do with it is color a wire. some of those details in there a little better. All right, I think we've dried here a little bit. Yes, excellent. So, a little Agrax Earth Shade, because it's nice and dark chestnut brown. Don't need a lot. Just need to start the first layers of rust and grime. So just run that over the top of the metal, and immediately it starts to look older. Get it around the rivets. Anywhere that the model's got a nice split or crack in it from wear, get some of that stuff in there, because yeah, the grime would get right into there. And the stuff you could just let a little bit pool here and there for standing grime. And my little holder here is just a plastic drinking straw I cut up. Pop a little plastic cap onto the top of to make a stable surface. There we go. And make sure every little bit of metal looks like it is got some kind of oxidization going on. Oops. Oops. I keep doing it, darn it. There we go. Yeah, this earth shade is great because it creates such lovely detail. It just drops into the recesses and gives everything that grimy kind of look to it. Darkens everything just a little bit. It brings out a lot of depth. I'm glad you like this powdered toast, man, because I looked at the same kind of stuff when I was a kid. All the ways things would corrode. Oh, I lost signal there for just a second. I love watching all the way metal corrodes. After playing with metal for years and years as an adult, you see how it oxidizes. Different metals oxidize under different conditions. And I have a lot of fun just trying to simulate different ways to get those effects when I'm painting. So now that's the dark rust. Do a little bit of a brighter colored rust, but not so red orange, kind of an orange brown. Let's see, where is So this is just a touch of Mornfang brown. And then if I can find it, I need to organize myself because the mess is running away on me. Oh, there it is. A little bit of Scrag brown. And then just a dab, contrast, Lamia medium. Get this kind of thin so it also runs into cracks like a shade paint. Yeah, there we go. And then as I just want little bits of it, I will grab a insane detail brush and just start running it into cracks and things. Anywhere where water would pool. And that corrosion would form. Just dropping little bits of that color into the deepest recesses where water would sit and cause rust. Definitely not evenly. Hit a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Got a little much there. That's okay. Yeah, I can't count all the pieces of rusting farm equipment I've seen over my lifetime. Just watched things rust. Awesome. You have a great weekend. It was good to see you, Dudley. I'm glad you were able to make it a while. There we go. Take all the little nicks in the floor where the paint would have chipped. Get all of that corrosion in there. There we go. Because in the grim darkness of the far-flung future, there is only tetanus. There we go. The lovely thing about corrosion and weathering like this is you don't have to be neat. In fact, you don't want to be neat. You want it to be random. You want that natural look of 1,000 years of who the hell knows what dripping on it. Hello there, welcome Saucy Slip. I am just working on a 60mm Void War base for a character model that I am kit bashing. Ooh. And I really have to work on the light here. This is just... I'm terribly sorry about this. See if I can get a little more light into the picture there. Get just a little clear water here to thin just a little touch of it out. No, that was just me trying to figure out how to get a little more light into the iris. And I succeeded. It was just not a way to control any amount of light, really. There we go. Some nice rusty effects. All right. Well, we have been going on 2 hours here, and I am starting to go numb. So I think I should get up and walk about and do a few things around the house and then come back to painting some more later. But I would like to thank everyone for joining me today. I really appreciate it. And if you can, please go check me out over on Patreon. If you can do anything at all to help support my work, I would truly appreciate that. And share this with all your crafty friends who might be interested in this sort of thing. And I hope everyone stays safe and healthy this week. You all have a great weekend. Bye-bye.